AG fans, Goji Fan 93 here, and welcome to the next Kaiju discussion video. First of all, I hope you guys like the new intro that I made for it. I felt like it was time for a new intro for this series. Also, I do apologize, it's been a while since I've made another video of this, but, I just haven't really had any ideas lately. But a recent post that I saw on Facebook has inspired me to make this next Kaiju discussion. And this is a discussion that I've wanted to talk about for a while, because when I keep on seeing it and I just go, I don't get it. I don't get why people think this. So yeah, the topic of this discussion will be, is FinalGoji that OP? Or is he that overpowered? Is Final Wars Godzilla the most toughest Godzilla incarnation there is? Now, for me, I'm going to start the video off by saying I don't think he is. I don't think he's the toughest Godzilla. In fact, I don't think he's really that tough at all. I mean, he's not the weakest, but I wouldn't say he's the toughest. Also, I do apologize that I'm still a little bit stuffy. I'm still getting over my cold here, so bear with me with the stuffy sound that I have. So anyways, yeah, okay, so this kind of argument I've been seeing a lot lately. I've seen it ever since I've really started my channel doing Godzilla videos. People state, and this is a fan theory again, this is kind of along the lines of people thinking that Godzilla Jr. is Godzilla 2000 and also Godzilla Final Wars, which again is not true. It's been stated by Toho that those were different things and all that, but if you want to see a discussion on that, I already made an episode on that a while ago. So, but yeah, people are saying a fan speculation of, yes, Godzilla Final Wars is the toughest monster because he fought so many monsters and killed them so quickly, and then at the end he grabbed Kaiju Ghidorah, spun him around, and shot him out into space and blew him up with his red spiral ray. And that's really the only evidence they can bring onto the plate, because there's really nothing else. They also say that he's very agile, and he can move fast in a lot of physical combat. But the thing is like, I don't really understand that, because my way of looking at this is, okay, well, first off, let's talk about the enemies that Godzilla fought. Here are the enemies that Godzilla fought. He fought Gamacarus, Kumonga, Anguirus, King Caesar, Ibris, Hedorah, Rodan, and then towards the end, those monsters are like, I would call the low tier monsters. Those monsters are not necessarily that tough to begin with. Even in their own respected movies where they were, Godzilla pretty much kicked their asses anyways. The only monsters that really proved to be, well, actually even Gigan is part of that in this movie, at least, because the Final Wars Gigan is the weakest Gigan ever. So really the only monster that proved tough for Godzilla in this movie was Monster X / Kaiju Ghidorah. And this is where I'm going to bring up my point here. So first of all, Godzilla fighting these low-tier monsters, alright? So he goes through the movie and he kills all these monsters. Oh, and also Zilla. I don't want to forget about that he fought Zilla, but, he goes through all these monsters and kills them really quickly. Alright, some people think that that's why he's tough, because he was able to dispatch his foes super quickly. Well, here's the facts. Toho did not have a budget with this movie. Toho kind of rushed it. Toho really didn't know what they were doing with it, really. And so that's why the monster battles were really short. The monster battles were short not because Godzilla was tough, but because they just had a time, schedule, and budget to get the movie done, and they just didn't have enough time to make lengthy battles. That's why there was probably battle after battle instead of just one big battle like Destroy All Monsters had, where all the monsters were on the same playing field in one in one sitting. So yeah, Godzilla, he dispatched these guys so quickly, but that doesn't mean that he's tough. It just means that they didn't have the time to make lengthy battles. And honestly, the way Godzilla dispatched these guys, any incarnation of Godzilla would have been able to dispatch these guys super quickly. The only one that was somewhat, I guess, tough, challenging for Godzilla was when he fought King Caesar, Rodan, and Anguirus, because there were 3 against 1. But even that battle, Godzilla, I mean, it was still kind of short, and, I don't know. But And then, you know, the part where Godzilla actually finally okay, here's the thing. When Godzilla finally meets a monster that actually, like, is tough, Godzilla gets his ass handed to him in 5 seconds. Like, here's the thing, it's like when he goes through all these monsters, you guys say that he's the toughest Godzilla, and yet he goes up against Monster X and he starts to get his ass kicked, and then when Monster X turns into Kaiju Ghidorah, Godzilla doesn't stand a chance. Kaiju Ghidorah in 5 seconds knocks him out and is able to kill him. Once again, I go back to my argument that if it wasn't for the humans, Godzilla would have died. So you're saying that the most powerful incarnation of Godzilla gets his ass handed to him in 5 seconds when he actually fights a foe that's actually a formidable foe? Come on, that's a bunch of BS, you know? So if Godzilla was truly tough, and if this version of Godzilla was truly the #1 tough Godzilla, he would have blown Kaiju Ghidorah out of the sky, which he did towards the end, but that was after the humans gave him such extreme amount of energy. And that's where some people also think that this is the toughest one, because when Godzilla gets all that radiation energy, you know, yeah, he's super tough. But you know, I'm basing this off of his main power, you know, without any outside force helping him. Also, I should have said this at the beginning of the video, I do want to set the record straight that I do love Godzilla Final Wars, okay? One, you guys know I love the movie, but also I love the character. I love this Godzilla, this incarnation of Godzilla. I think he's awesome. I love the suit design. I love the roar. I love everything about this Godzilla. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm hating on this Godzilla. I'm just saying that I don't understand why people think he's the toughest. So, yeah. So that's my thing, is like, he's not tough, he just... You know, it's just the way the movie was made to make him look like he was tough, but it was just mostly a cameo battle where he's like, oh hey, there's Ibra, there's Gamakrus, there's Kamonga, and then he dispatches them really quickly so that they can move on to the next battle. That's really all it is. Any other Godzilla incarnation could take these guys on probably just as quickly as FinalGoji. Now I know you guys are probably going to wonder what my personal opinion is on who is the strongest Godzilla. For me, it's a mix-up between GMK and Burning Godzilla, because, okay, let's talk about GMK for a second. GMK, I think, is the toughest Godzilla, and I know that those two choices are very, predictable or overrated, but there's a reason why they're overrated. There's a reason why they are so... popular among the Godzilla fan base, because they are really, really powerful. GMK is full of rage, and he's, you know, all the souls, and he's super pissed off, and I mean, the guy has no pupils. Come on, I mean, think about it. He's pure evil. This Godzilla is the most evil Godzilla that there is, and you know, yes, he takes on 3 monsters, but see, the thing is every time the Guardian monsters, King Ghidorah, Mothra, or Baragon, every time they tried to get Godzilla, he would kill them. He would at least maim them first. I mean, it took humans, the little submarine with the commander going in his mouth just to make a hole through his chest to every time he would shoot his atomic breath, that then eventually would blow him up. It took that to kill him. Even King Ghidorah plus the might with Mothra combining to make the grand, at the end where King Ghidorah has his final form, even that form could not kill GMK. I mean, GMK is just a tank, and I have a feeling that if GMK fought Kaiju Ghidorah wouldn't have stood a chance. So, you know, that's my thing. Now, Burning Godzilla, okay, here's the thing about Burning Godzilla. Once again, Burning Godzilla is a walking nuclear bomb. I mean, he is exploding with radiation. He is exploding with power. That Godzilla, I mean, I would not want to mess with him. I would rather mess with FinalGoji than having to mess with Burning Godzilla. I mean, Burning Godzilla is just, he's just really, really powerful in that state. So yeah, now also a lot of people are going to think that the legendary Godzilla is the toughest one, and that I don't understand either. I think a lot of people think that he's the toughest one just because he's the newest Godzilla, because I have a feeling, watch, I guarantee that when Godzilla 2016 comes out, people will change their opinions to say that Godzilla 2016 is the toughest one just because he's the latest Godzilla. I have a feeling, I guarantee it, just watch. But yeah, Legendary Godzilla, he's not the toughest one. You think he's just the toughest one just because he's the biggest Godzilla. Well, hey guys, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So hey, yeah, I don't think Legendary Godzilla's tough, especially because he got, he gets tag teamed by the two Mutos, and he doesn't. It seems like he doesn't stand a chance. He needs to be one-on-one with them. When he was one-on-one with the Mutos, then he did kick their ass. But when he was being tag teamed, it was game over for him. So I'm not even gonna think about Legendary Godzilla as being the toughest Godzilla, because that's not true at all. Yeah, that's really my opinion, my spiel on this whole topic of FinalGoji being the toughest. I don't think he is. I really don't understand why people think he is. Just because he goes through so many monsters in a quick way does not necessarily mean he's tough. It's just the way the movie was made, because Toho just didn't have the budget or the time. So that's really how it was. But that's really it for me, guys. That's my opinion on this whole thing. So for me, I would say GMK would be the toughest Godzilla incarnation. That's my opinion. So obviously a little different from yours, but that's just me. So as always, please post in the comments what your guys' thoughts are on this discussion. Make a discussion in the comment section. Please be civilized about it. Don't start hate comments and all that. Let's all be friends and just get along, alright? So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay big, G fans.